Hey, people out there in YouTube land, and hopefully I'm going out on Twitter. I meant to do that, and I might have. We'll find out. Let me know how the sound is. If anyone's out there listening, we're kind of doing this as a last minute placeholder. Make sure we're going live every Thursday night. Not It's pretty informal as usual, but so I'm going to play a little intro song here with just a basic phone dump of some of the stuff we did this week. Waiting for people to jump in, hopefully ask some questions and join us. Music's a little dark, but it was free, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to, or I wanted to use some royalty-free music for a change because I've been getting copyright strikes, which they don't take. They don't take you down for it, so I'm not quite sure why people are so afraid of them. But I'm just being careful. So I'm gonna try this, show this on stream, take myself off, and then I'll be back in about 2 minutes with my guest Frosty. All right, hey guys, that was just a basic phone dump. Hopefully, there's well, maybe the music was pretty dark, but anyways, we have Zach and David waiting in the sideline, or Frosty, I mean. So I'm gonna bring Frosty up right away here, and here you go. How you doing, buddy? Can you hear me?
Good, bud. How are you guys doing today?
Good. Hey, I'll bring Zach up right away too, because this is gonna be a little informal, and I'm glad he joined us. Where are you at there, Zach? Oh, he's popped off screen. Okay, he'll be back, I'm sure. Anyways, yeah. What do you got going on, man?
Yeah, it
What
was
do you got
good.
going on way over there?
I'm over here at your place here tonight, hanging out with you, and yeah, it was a good week. We got a bunch of stuff accomplished. Hey, we went around, did a bunch of beach stuff, and yeah, it was a great week overall. And yeah, we got made some headway on our cedulas, which is our residency. Should have that here next week, so that's really good.
Absolutely, we're living the expat lifestyle, and and just doing it and leading by example. So, well, hey, there we go. We got a comment from someone I don't recognize. Show on
Carla.
stream. How you doing? Hi, how you doing?
Modern
Anyway,
simplicity in the house again. So good to see you here, my friend.
hey, yeah, we're starting to get some regulars. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, honestly, things haven't changed around here much, other than there's always something to do. There's always things going on. We went to a new restaurant today. It was really good. I will have to start plugging the names of these places, but had a great lunch for $35. Yeah, here we go. We got someone joining us here, David. There we go, Zach. Hey, buddy, come on in. How you doing?
How are you?
How's things
How are
up
you
in
doing?
How's things up in cold Canada?
Snowing. It's beautiful. It's cold.
Honestly, everyone I talk to up there, if they're not talking about the snow and the weather, they're talking about the unmentionable things. So,
Yes.
where's
How's
Rando
your
when
week,
you need
Zachy?
him?
Yeah, you guys are really rocking. Look at the
Yeah.
weather.
Yeah, it's been a great week down here. We had some really nice sunny days. It's been awesome. How you handed up with the old hex dump this week?
Nothing. I'm just waiting to talk to you one day. Like after last week we spoke, like, and then I'm kind of I got to just break my unstake. I have to unstake it. Emergency unstake it.
Don't
EES. You know
do
what I mean?
that.
Yeah.
You're
I
not
mean,
gonna
look,
merge.
my stake ends on
Come
March
on.
8th.
Yeah.
All right, and that's the only thing I have is like all the coins on stake till 8th of March. And when I was reading all the text and what's going on, you guys were telling like the next week probably is going to happen, right?
Which is gonna happen?
The pulse swap.
It's coming up soon. The Richard tweeted out this week that it's gonna, hoping to launch before the end of the year. So, but we know how that always goes, and everything's on time. So we'll see what
Right.
happens.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I missed the sacrifice phase, the first one,
Yeah.
and this one, like you've been telling me, Tony's been telling me nonstop. You know what I mean? Even though you have to pay a little price and do your stake, and imagine stake. So I'm kind of confused because I'm getting a copy of that PX, EX. I mean, right? It's kind of just like it's a decent stock. I mean, I don't have very big like you guys, but then it's fair enough. It's like that's all I have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, Zach.
So yeah.
Last question. Did you actually go ahead and emergency unstake? And I also going to say a shout out to Grant Pryor waiting in the sidelines there. I'm going to bring him up real quick. He's a friend of mine from the oil rigs. I got him in. We started with ETH and wrapped Bitcoin and went into MakerDAO, and then I got him into Hex, and he's into PulseSwap. He's sacrificed for Pulse, and I'm sure he's going to be doing something for PulseSwap. But I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just want to. Did you actually do the emergency unstake?
No, I didn't do it. My stake ends on 8th of March.
I'd leave that thing alone. I don't know how big. No matter what it is, the price is going to come back. If it's about price, like whatever, the price is coming back.
I'm not worried about the price because I just want to, hold on to my golden goose. You know what I mean? It's like, because it's paying me almost half a year's salary next year, the API. You know what I mean? And I need that cash, especially after going through a pandemic, losing my business. And
Yeah,
all that.
it's tough out there, man. It's tough. All right, I'm gonna bring Grant up. Just he can sit here. We're gonna say hello to him, but he can sit here in the sidelines and you finish your story. Grant, you just chill. Make sure your mic and your camera's working, buddy, and we'll let Zach finish the story, and then we'll talk to Grant too.
Hello.
What's up, buddy? How's it going?
He's
going
in
on, my
Calgary.
Wow, Calgary's colder, man.
Calgary's always cold. It's Canada. Canada's cold. How's can you guys hear me okay?
Good.
Sounds great.
You sound awesome.
Perfect. Go ahead and just keep going on with your story there, Zach, and then I can always
Yeah, I
come
mean,
in after.
that's a solid support system for me for next year, and I'm just gonna stake it year to year. You know what I mean? Till it really hits a big, and then I want to maintain my hex, and I want to maintain my pulse, whatever we're gonna get it, another stack free.
Your
stack,
PHEX,
you know
your
PX,
pulse on
and
your hex on the new.
And whatever the bridges going to build up and to change all that, you guys are here all the time, so I don't have to worry about all that. I can always ask questions, right?
Yeah.
So it's very confusing. I don't know. So many things are happening, and then plus, I have so many people onboarded, right? and I'm the one who they ask me questions, right?
Yeah.
Nonstop, because they're reading this chat and they said, "Are you doing this? We're gonna do this. We're gonna make it big." And then this is another problem. It's okay, okay, okay. Look,
Well,
you
this
guys
is the test of the weak hands right now. You know what I mean? We're
Hey,
going through the test of
I'll
the
give you
weak
this,
hands.
Zach. Just to what you're speaking to there, I had a friend of mine send me a message, and he's done phenomenally well. And he's got some, and he's out there. He's an old friend of mine, and he doesn't know all the details, understand crypto and stuff. He just took my word on it. He bought pre big payday and got in like September. And I mean, he did phenomenally well on it. And then he's chirping to me today. He's like, "All's fair in love and war, like it's the end of the world." And I was like, I'm
no,
laughing
no,
at the
no.
guy. No, I get it. You're a crypto guy. You know what's going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
You know,
I don't give a damn about anything.
no, I know, but these are the ones you have to deal with, right? And it's like I was like, "Oh, come on, man!" And he was talking about a friend of mine's mother who got involved, and it's funny thing is she cashed out a bunch in November, and it paid for all her stakes. And he
Right.
said, "Yeah, it looks like Dean Yoden, the only one that made any money." It's like, what? Come on! I'm not even. I hate selling Hex. At these prices, I refuse to. I took some profits because of my age, and I had to make sure I didn't end up back in an oil rig. But I'll never sell. I'll never sell at these prices right now.
We got
Never say never.
some
But
questions here.
what's up? Yeah. Hey, what? Well, so the new entry requirements. I don't know if we're qualified to speak on that. Really, I think it seems like it's rumors and innuendo at this point. So maybe modern simplicity. Check in next week and we'll revisit that.
Well, they did
What do
kind
you
of change some
think?
things around, and but
Okay, talk
I
on
got
it.
to. Well, yeah, I did. We talked to some lawyers this week about that. They did initially change the rules here a little bit to get into Ecuador, but they kind of followed the coattails because Colombia and Brazil changed their laws first. So we'll see what happens. I'll have some more information on that next week. I may have some inside information that things are going to be changing here a little bit shortly. So just stay tuned with us. Nothing's really changed. It's just the usual outlook of scandemic going on and being paranoid. So yeah.
All right. Hey,
And
so
this little person here said she found Hex. I apologize. I believe it's a girl or a guy. I apologize, but she found Hex last summer. It's an important thing. And she's right. T-shares are 100% are important, and they are cheap right now. So you should be capitalizing on those things.
Absolutely. The T-shares are important. And that's honestly, speaking of Hex and the selling, I still have the same amount of Hex I had on Big Payday. And I'm
Yeah,
retired.
yeah.
So it's
I
like,
have
come
same
on.
thing.
The T-shares are what matter. And they're only ever going to go up in price in history. So, I mean, it's crypto, it's code. And a lot of things that people realize about cryptocurrency is it's code and it's immutable. And
Immutable. Yeah, it's immutable.
yeah. Hey, I was gonna.
I think Zach brought up a really good point there. Like you were talking about, Zach, you got a lot of people onboarded, and in truth, like that, I'm not I guess I don't know if I'd be classified as a Hex OG. I got in April 2020, so obviously I missed the initial launch, but I was there for Big Payday and saw that all come. And
You're still way up though. You remember the dump?
Sure.
You remember the dump after Big Payday? You were mad. My
100%.
stomach was in the bottom of my belly. But I remember watching Hexologist buying $500 worth of Hex live afterwards at point. And that $500 still at this price is huge, right? So sorry, Grant. Keep going, brother.
That's something we need to do as a community here. Like I've seen it change a little bit over the last 6 months, especially as new people have gotten in, and it seems like there's less patience for the new people getting in, and they're worried. If you bought in at 20 cents or 30 cents or 40 cents, and now it's down, you're like, oh my gosh. And I think it's our job as longtime people that have been in the Hex to say, this is what happens. It's okay. Like,
Yeah.
You bought the top, that sucks, but it's going to come back there. That's okay. And I think what I found a lot in the Telegram groups is when people do question or they ask and they're concerned, they automatically get like yelled at like they're plebs and all this kind of derogatory stuff to them. We don't have time for, like, we need people to come in. Like the only way like I make money or Zach makes money or Dave makes money or any of us do, or the guys that got in at 40 cents, is if more people are adopting into it. That's the only way it works.
And we are.
It's not
I checked the stake, the amount of stakers. I actually we're up. I take screenshots from my staker app, and I looked at it. It's been approximately a month. We're up about 1,200 stakers in a month. I mean, I don't know how fast that curve is going, but I mean, I still
It's slowed down, but I think that has a
it's
lot to do
slowed
with
down. But
ETH
it's
fees
still, I
because
mean, even during this downturn, like we've been going up here in the last couple of weeks. Still,
yeah, those ETH
more
fees aren't
stakers.
helping anything. So, but we're
even
close.
this
Like we
down,
just
like I think that this down has happened. Like I know a lot of people are questioning what's going on and why are so many people dumping and taking profits. You need to take profits. Everybody's going to do it. Eventually, we're all going to take profits. That is the name of what we're doing here. We didn't do this just for vanity to try and hold Hex. Like we are going to take profits, and that's okay. There can't be this where we get mad at people for taking profits. But like what's happening right now, when these guys are taking profits, I think that they're looking at it from when we did the Pulse sacrifice. Richard really never said there was going to be a date. He just said it's coming up. Be prepared. So people bought, price went up, and everybody held. But he just laid out a time frame. What was that? 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago? He said, this Friday, hopefully they're going to drop testnet 2.0 here on Friday. That's going to run for a month and a half. And then about 2 to 3 weeks in amongst that, you're going to have PulseSwap. So we have a lot of time frames. So I think, if you look at it rationally, a lot of these guys that have got out, taking profits, I'm sure they're going to get back in. Like they didn't take their money out of the market. They're just sitting in USDC.
They're only selling probably a fraction of their interest anyways.
100%.
They're
Exactly.
holding.
So-
Grant, this
so
is
as soon as
early.
that
I'm proud of
Pulse
you. You're talking like a true Hexagon, man. I
yeah,
love
he's
it.
doing great.
And
we gotta keep in
truthfully,
mind-
I've been staying out of the telegrams. It's been a while. I used to be in there, and there's some really beautiful people in there back in the day. And I'll go back in and join it. But go ahead. What are you going to say there, Frosty?
No, I was just going to say we got to keep in mind that if we look at the market cycle from the beginning of ETH and Bitcoin, at this point in time, 2 years into the market cycle, both ETH and Bitcoin dropped roughly 98%, 95%, both of them in that same time market cycle. So what we're going through is nothing different than the exact same thing that happened in the market cycle in ETH and Hex.
Yep.
So, it's a function of time. Making money in crypto is a function of time. And I like modern simplicity says, we all got to take profits to go to Ecuador there.
I'm not sorry, guys. I'm not keeping up. I need to figure out if I can make admins in here and help me. People can boost the comments and stuff.
We got Lil in there too. If he wants to jump on board.
Oh, is he on? Did he jump in?
I don't know, but I was just gonna say if they want to jump in, click the link and come on board and let's see what you got to say.
All right. Hey, this is cool. We got 4 Canadians. One is in Toronto, one's in Calgary, and two of them in Mount Ecuador. So it's awesome, man.
Yeah, Grant, you have great info there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. I onboarded Grant, and we went back. I remember showing him the MakerDAO contracts and Grant came from a trading background. Are you still a trader, or tell me, what do you think?
You know what? I'll tell you this much with trading. So when after COVID hit and pandemic and came home and was working from home, I traded, but nothing has done as well for me as just holding on the Hex and just sitting. And in truth, I was trading options every day, day trading. If I would have just bought my stocks and sat on them for a year, I would have done a whole lot better. Trading will get you wrecked. It's one of the best things about Hex that I like is that you're not trading. You're buying in, you're holding into it, and that's the best gains you're going to see.
For sure.
Like the best parts about Hex are those things. And I think as a community, when people get in, like I've onboarded guys at 20 and 30 and 40 cents that just got in. We just got to be, maybe it's deteriorated a little bit in Telegram, but where we bring people in and be like, it's okay, dude. Like, I understand you don't understand how it works. Like when Dean first got me in, I didn't even know what it was. I had ETH and I was like sitting on it. I think ETH at that time was $200, I think, Dean, or whatever. And then he called me and told me about this. And I was like, okay. So I jumped in and just did it.
Get on it.
Then I researched afterwards and realized how smart my buddy was that got me in, and actually realized what I was actually in. So I'm like, okay.
Right.
But that takes time, right? Like
Time.
T-shares and all that kind of
Takes
stuff.
time.
People just don't get into it. So we just got to be, as we continue on, patience for the new guys coming in. Just
I believe
okay.
Everything you say is truth, Grant, and I feel that for the most, those telegrams, that's like being that's like the you're down in the swamps at that point, right? And it's a great place to be, and that's where these things emerge from. But when you're You
I,
can't
I
take
think
anything.
Richard.
You can't take anything personal anyone says in a telegram that's it's an anonymous handle or whatever. You know, that's why Richard encouraged everyone to go live and put your faces on this too, right? Sorry,
Well,
go
it's
ahead,
true, and I
Frosty.
agree. Like, you can't be maximalist too for everything. Like, it's like,
For sure.
and like Richard said, we all got to look after each other and treat each other rightly and be nice to people. At the end of the day, there is a human factor here, and without people, there is no money, because money is just a medium of
Yep.
exchange, right? The common denominator is
100%.
people. So if
Give your
there is no,
Metcalfe's law speech, buddy. Give it.
yeah,
Tell
but
them.
it's
Tell them.
true, right?
Explain
Like, we
it. No,
can't,
it's true. I want you to
we
tell it.
can't,
I want you to
we
explain it to the
we
people.
can't lose the human factor, right? Money's nothing without people, right? So it's, if you have a skid of gold or a skid of cash on a desert island, then you have nothing. So it's worthless. So we can't
Yeah.
forget about that. So, and then we got to do the same thing in our own ecosystem, right? So we want the
Well,
ecosystem to grow. We got to look after our own ecosystem.
and I think it's important for us to have an ecosystem, but I'm not an echo chamber where,
Exactly.
like you already mentioned, like Bitcoin maxis, right? That don't
Yeah.
say anything else but Bitcoin. Well, you're
Yeah.
missing out. Like,
Yeah.
you can't be that way. And it's why I don't push against the idea of hexagons, but I'm an investor. I like Hex. I love everything about it. I love Pulse
Yeah.
Chain. It's going to kick ass. But when we start putting ourselves into tribes, we start, like, we lose sight of other things that are around us, and that's okay. Like, we have
Yeah, you
to
lose
do
sight of the
that.
macro thing around you if you start
For
just
sure.
focus on the only thing that's there, right? And it's
Yes,
it's like you
for
live
sure.
in Canada, there's other countries in the world, right? There's different opportunities, and it's not just one, and those other opportunities can lead to other things. And yeah, it's an absolutely, you got to look at the macro. You can't just be focused on what's right in front of you, or you're a horse with blinders on.
Yeah. And, like, how do you know Canada's a great country unless you see other countries, or vice
Exactly.
versa? Like, if you don't have anything prepared to, you're screaming, we're number one, and you've never been outside the country. It's like, well, how do you even know that? Like, what?
No, that
Other
happens a
things
lot.
Oh, it happens a ton. And
Yeah.
I like a community where we're inclusive to bring these people in and help
Yeah.
change their minds. But when somebody asks, like, I know the big push now is the whole, like, when I first got to crypto, you didn't hear a lot about FUD, but
Yeah.
like FUD now is like, anybody questions anything or asks it, it's like, oh, you're saying FUD, we'll kick you out of the group. Like, I mean,
Well, here's a
No,
classic
that's true.
example.
No, sorry,
I
I'll
was
correct you. Go ahead there, Frosty. I got threatened early. Go ahead.
I was in the original Hex group. I was in, like, day, like, long before everybody else. And I remember having conversations. I was one of the only guys in the same, like, guys, the only thing that matters in this group are T-shares. And they're like, you're an idiot. What the hell is a T-share? And I was like screaming at them. And then I literally talked about another coin, and they kicked me out of the group. You know what I mean? And it was like, whatever. You know what
I
I
got
mean?
threatened by Richard, and
Uh,
but I remember chatting with Richard on Discord just briefly. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's because he put in the work. The guy was out there just putting in the work. And the thing is, Grant. So that's the only point I want to make is nothing's really changed. That's what happens. But you get into when you're in those realms, there's certain rules and there's certain kind of. It's like, it's like maybe there's a norm for Facebook, or there's a norm for this and that. There's
there
definitely a
ain't no
norm
norm
in.
for Facebook.
No, but there's kind of a norm in. There's kind of a norm in the telegrams, and like there's another guy down here that he got. I remember I chatted with him 2 days ago. His name is Ryan Lopez, and we were in Hex Pro group at the time, and a bunch of people jumped on him, and he maybe made a mistake or did something he was involved in some of those coins that were floating on top of Hex, but he had given so much to the Hex community at that point. I mean, I just private messaged the guy and said, dude, man, don't listen to these shitheads. Like, keep doing what you're doing, man. And he come back and he's a stronger asset than ever. And he's like,
No, I agree. That's the human factor, and I think the community needs to recognize that it's a people's game. You know what I mean? Not a money game. It's a people's game. And whether it's
The only way
Hex
it
or any
works.
other business, it's 100% a people's game.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's the only way it works. Yeah. No.
So
I got a question for you guys. Me and Scobes today were talking there, Diener, one of the guys we used to work with on the rig. We're talking about when the whole swap happens. The fork happens. So, your guys' thoughts on EHEX as opposed to PHEX? How do you think that's going to work? So, like, I have my own ideas of how that's going to play, but I know I know Richard says he doesn't want to see any cheap hex anywhere, and of course he doesn't want to, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to see some volatility, obviously. And I would assume the next time, so like after the fork, we're naturally, when I'm going to bring somebody on board, let's say I'm going to onboard my mom and she's got $1,000. I'm going to onboard her to PHEX, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Because it's
Absolutely.
cheaper. Like, why wouldn't we? And I think that's going to be the majority for a little bit. Now, I don't know how long that balances with the liquidity pools. But
Until Hex fixes Ethereum with the vampire attack, and once we fix Ethereum by taking all their users over to Pulse, then we can.
Well, I think eHex is basically. I've had many conversations with some of the large whales in eHex. I think it's like you said. It's going to be nobody that I know is going to sell their eHex just because they have a huge bag of it, right? And at the end of the day, with the amount of T-shares that we have, it even if it's an $1,800 to unstake it, it still makes sense if you're making $50,000 in a return. So what's $1,800 on a $50,000 return? So I got a feeling it's going to be basically eHex is probably, my opinion, is probably going to be more whales in the short term, and then some of the smaller ones will go over just because of the gas fees in the interim, right? But there's an advantage there too, because you got to think of, say, a bunch of the smaller guys go and they move over to PHEX because of the price. Think what that does to the T-share and the payout to the eHex, right? So now all of a sudden there's going to be less people there, which there's going to be higher amount of payout per T-share, right? So it's going to offset the people that leave. So I can see it being a double win personally, but we'll see. That's just speculation.
Hey
of
guys,
course, yeah. Like, I know we're all just throwing numbers out there, but it's interesting. Like I
don't want to change this, steer this conversation in a different direction, but I just wanted to give a shout out. I just checked my Twitter because I was originally I wanted to make sure we were going live on Twitter as well. But we got a reshare from Wales only and Johnny No Good. We appreciate that. And
thanks, guys.
The strength of Hex is the community. And we know who these people are. They might not know us as well because we've been quiet on the sidelines and stuff. But here we are, and we're out here, and we're just kind of doing it. But I mean, these are everyone. There's a whole variety of people involved in Hex, and it's just great. And I just want to say thanks to those guys for shouting out and retweeting that.
That's awesome.
So in the end, we're going to get some momentum again going. So we're going to keep this Thursday night thing going, and let's just keep doing her.
Yeah, and you're going to be heading back to the Great White North here in a week or so.
Well, yeah, I was going to keep it secret. I don't want my son to find out. I'm going to stop in on him, and he's away at school, so yeah, I'm going to go see him. So, anyways, Wales only is the best, says Lo. We
Absolutely.
agree. He's a strong Hexagon, that's for sure.
Wow.
He's one of us. How you
what do you
doing,
think
Zach?
about what happened? What do you think about what happened with him and Matty L and like Kareem?
I try not to get involved in the emotions of it all because I like both those guys, but I definitely respect Wales for, he had a principled stand, and Grant, you and I know from working, you're a man of principle, and if we've met a lot of people in the oil industry over the years that were kind of abrupt and pushy, and Wales is a stock or as a trader from New York, so he's going to be opinionated. And I think he was pissed because they changed the algorithm on the nomics chart. And I also understand Matty. I like to be the peacemaker and keep making things cool. So I'm neutral on that. I like them both, but I kind of tend to like Wales. He's kind of more like me. Well, but I don't know.
But I definitely think as we're moving forward here with Pulse and PulseSwap, like, man, it is going to be
PulseSwap is a great opportunity for everybody, those new that's getting in that can't afford the ETH fees, So all the new guys that we're pushing right now to get into PulseSwap, right? That's the opportunity. So especially everybody down here in Ecuador. So there's lots of people jumping in from Ecuador into Hex, and there's going to be a bunch of them jumping into PulseSwap.
And I kind of feel like anybody that gets into PulseSwap, me and Scopes were talking about that today, but anybody that's getting into PulseSwap, I don't think there's not nearly as much people getting into PulseSwap as there was for the sacrifice phase for Pulse. And I think some people they've already liquidated what they could to sacrifice for Pulse. And so like even people I've told that got in right around Pulse sacrifice phase, and now when I tell them about PulseSwap, they're like, well, like Pulse isn't even out yet, and now I'm going to put.
I know, but dude, Grant,
I agree. 100%.
The hindsight is I didn't put in enough into PulseSwap because I was such a kind of a Hexican maximalist. I didn't want to sell my hex, but holy crap, man. Like, I think the two guys in the middle of my screen here are going to do really well from the PulseSwap. Dude, you guys both have these huge grins on your face. And so I see PulseSwap as the opportunity. I should have sacrificed more. And I mean, I'm way better off than your average person on the street, but as far as getting into Pulse, but my goodness, man, right now, PulseSwap, giver, like it's too easy. It's just too strong. It's going to be awesome.
It is going to be awesome.
It's going to be crazy, really. Like, I can't even fathom it. Like it's just going to be nuts.
And that's some things, like, do you find yourself, Frosty, or even Dean, like, thinking about the future? Like, you guys are already pretty set, so that's good. And I'm not where you are, Dean, but I'm happy and comfortable, and I can be at home and not have to be on the rig. But I try not to drink the Kool-Aid too much and be too excited, but it's kind of hard not to with all this.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, buddy.
Let's have some Kool-Aid. Come on, give us some Kool-Aid, Grant. What are you going to do? Hey, come on. World Traveler, Grant Pryor, World Traveler. Zach, owner of fishing. He's an island boy fishing at any beach he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get down to this beach, buddy. When you coming down?
Oh, yeah. I'm coming. So what if I buy liquid hex now because it's a big dip, right?
Just save all your money right now. Don't do anything. Save all your money now and just put it into PulseSwap.
Okay.
Well, but PulseSwap will be with hex, though, right? You'll be able to sacrifice like we did for the sacrifice phase, correct?
Yeah.
Well, but hopefully you don't want to sell cheap hacks, though.
From what I understand, everything that you were able to sacrifice in Pulse, you'll be able to do for PulseSwap. Is what I hear at the moment.
Okay. So you don't want me to break undo my stake. You leave the stake for 8 months.
I would scrape together whatever dry powder that you can find kicking around.
I got some USDC kicking around.
And put it into freaking PulseSwap. That'd be the best. That's the best bang for your dollar because the ETH fees are too high. So you're better off just if the ETH fees are so high, save the money for PHEX and take advantage of the PulseSwap. That's going to be your best bang long term, I think. As much as I don't want to advocate saying don't buy hex, it just for people with like $200 to $400, $500, it just doesn't make sense right now. Unfortunately, as much as I want people to buy hex, but being sympathetic to them, it doesn't make sense to spend $300 in gas fees either, right? So, you're better off to save that dry powder for PulseSwap, and then save that dry powder or whatever else for PHEX. Let's be real. Like it's just unfortunately, this is the way the world is right now with the gas fees being so high.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? That's my opinion.
I
agree with everything you said.
I think that's smart. Yeah. Like just hold on, get in there, and then
let your T-shares do their thing and let them print the money printer because they're just being paid every day. And then take advantage of the PulseSwap because you're going to get in at 0.0. Like look at freaking Uniswap hit $45 this year. You know what I mean? You get into that, and let's say PulseSwap even does half of that at $20 over the next 2 years. Like it's good. Just PulseSwap will change your life, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah,
not including Pulse and then EHEX and PHEX.
Right? Like it's just
And then when Ethereum 2.0 finally comes out, they're probably gonna have to fork Ethereum, right? So there'll be 3 Ethereums.
Oh my God! I'll be dead before I see ETH 2.0. I've been listening to this story.
I know.
For 5
I'm not waiting
years.
on it, but it's still you'll have your ETH hacks on 2 different ETH chains at that point too. Like you got to keep that in mind as well. Eventually,
but you got to keep in mind too, like Grant was saying, like regarding PHEX and EHEX, right? Like at the end of the day, those T-shares are still T-shares, and even on EHEX, those suckers are still going to print out every day. So maybe your game theory changes from a little bit longer stakes, you know what I mean? And then you move your shorter, smaller stakes onto PHEX and just let those and just push everything out 10, 15 years to maximize the T-share on EHEX and put shorter revolving stakes on PHEX for the gas fees, right? So you kind of have the best of both worlds in fee world, but maximizing the T-shares on both chains. Does that make sense?
Yep, that does. That's the plan.
So yeah.
People are getting some good info here. It's good.
Yeah,
I know. Hey, tell you what, I didn't follow Dave down to. I'm not a follower, but I didn't jump on his coattail for nothing, man. He already, he was doing something that was right. It made sense, and I was like, yeah, that's. Let's go hang out and talk to this guy for a bit.
We're blazing some crazy trails here in Ecuador. That's for sure.
Yeah,
like
man.
we've been here for 2 months, and I don't know. Yeah, this
Yeah.
place is like a bushfire, just like waiting to be lit on fire.
Yeah.
Like it is
So
crypto
Grant,
friendly.
I bought a condo, yeah, we'll chat about it later.
I
Once
got
it's
no
all
pictures,
done.
buddy. Where's my
I got
pictures?
no pictures, but I paid for it in crypto.
Crypto. Bought
Yeah,
some
so
cars in crypto.
yeah. So
I'm
there's a lot of
man.
stuff going on that we're working on to try and because it's not that there's gray areas. There's just we're trying to be legal. Hey, should I plug our lawyer's
Yeah,
little
put
clip
Miguel
here
on there.
right now? We'll
Yeah,
throw some
sure.
Miguel down. But Grant, you had a question? Sorry.
No, actually, I'm just gonna say, Jimmy, 1 second. I gotta plug my stuff in here so I don't die out here. One
Yeah.
second.
Okay. So
I'll be
while
right
we're
back.
doing that, I'm gonna throw up our lawyer's video here. I thought I had it saved. Video share. Oh, I forgot to name it. What's this one? It's black screen.
That's the
Gone.
intro.
Oh, is it the intro? Okay, thanks. All right. Hide. Oh, here it is. Show stream. Here you go. Come back. All right, Miguel. Here's for you, buddy.
The Miguel Lopez law firm has national and international prestige. We have reliable and transparent attorneys and paralegals that provide optimal legal assistance in all areas of legal services. The Miguel Lopez law firm promotes the integrity of ethical principles, social responsibility, quality, and efficiency. We are committed to respecting and invigorating legal institutions within the context of substantial democracy.
There you go. Not a paid promotion, but good guy.
No, he's a great guy, and
He's
he's doing a
amazing.
lot of work for
Amazing.
us and
You're really
helping
smart
things.
too.
Yeah, and helping us blaze a lot of trails here legally in Ecuador and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So yeah, and we may have an exciting stream next weekend. We're going to see if we can line something up from one of the hotels here and maybe do a rooftop event or live from the beach with some music or something. What do you think about that?
Well, you seem to love your music and your beach and your rooftops. Why not? Let's do it.
Yeah, so what do you guys think out there about doing something a little different and going live from a hotel here and having a little different experience? We'll bring some people in, watch the party going on, see what life's a little bit outdoors instead of just standing here and shake it up a little bit.
Okay, so we got a comment from the Peanut Gallery here. Wow, that was a mouthful. Is that our beloved Randall up there in Ontario?
That's shit corner Randall there. Get on stream, buddy. Why aren't you on here?
Shit coiner. Well, we'll have to shut him down. All right, yeah, jump in, man. That was a mouthful. There you go.
What was a mouthful?
That's what he said. That was a mouthful.
Any news with Jay? Very shortly, my friend. Very shortly. We have a meeting here this week. A good friend of ours is flying in from California, and we may have an opportunity to do a little live stream from Palm Springs here in shortly. So yeah, there's some interesting things coming on with some red carpet events possibly in Palm Springs. So yeah, stay tuned for some interesting stuff from there. Good call. Modern Simplicity is all over it. And we got to thank you, Modern, as well, for sharing stuff and plugging us. We noticed that you're constantly sharing and plugging us. I really appreciate all that stuff. So
Dave,
thanks, man. Yeah.
Those guys you're talking to in the Hex Canucks. Come on, those boys up in Mexico. Maybe they're busy or not, but I definitely want to reach out to those guys. I want to talk to them. I want to go. I want to go visit them sometime. I want to.
Yeah, we're gonna get on a plane and go over and see Staked Wealth, but they had a bit of a technical issue with some of their video equipment. They plugged it in and they had a bit of a voltage surge and blew a bunch of their equipment in. They're in the process of trying to get it fixed right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to pass this one off to market analysis types. Go ahead there, Frosty. Read this and tell me what you think.
What do you guys think about the bear market will arrive? If it's not already here, I was thinking it would be a good upload for cheaper ETH to store in the future stakes. Yeah, well, I think we're, like I said earlier in the stream, that if you look at the market cycle from launch, from ETH to Bitcoin, at this point in time, the market cycle for Hex, well, this exact time in market cycle in Bitcoin and ETH, they dropped 95%. So is it unrealistic at this point to see that if we're basically a Metcalfe's law and an exponential curve? It's possible, and I hate to be probably going to get some shit and bad feedback for that, but we it's not unrealistic if that is the case that we could be dropping down to 4 to 2 cents, unfortunately, you know what I mean? And that's exactly what
All right.
ETH
I'm going to
and
kick you there,
Bitcoin did.
Frosty. I'm kicking you off the stream. Bye. Oh, shit. I was trying to kick you, and all of a sudden, this guy shows up. What happened? Oh, seriously. Stop it. I believe that the question was, should we buy a load up on ETH? Because let me go back 5 days ago. Frosty, you were saying you thinking Bitcoin's going to go 300,000 and 20 grand ETH. So come on, buddy. Where are we at on this?
I'm a believer in lengthening cycles and diminishing returns. And if you look at the market cycles for Bitcoin and ETH, the market cycles are becoming longer and longer and longer from year to year to year, like from every 4-year cycle. So if that's the case, like the market cycle top for this round, or for this halving, could go till late 2022 and even possibly into 2023. It's not unrealistic, right? So we can't keep we got to keep focused on reality, and the numbers don't lie. And the market cycles have been lengthening from peak to peak in both ETH and Bitcoin. So, and that's just part of the diminishing returns and lengthening cycles, and that's just, sheer volume.
What do you think of this comment on the screen here? I don't think Hex will be affected by the Bitcoin bear market.
No, not Bitcoin, but you got to realize all of these are networks, and these are network effects based on Metcalfe's law and exponential curves. Right, so whether any cryptocurrency or any one of those, whether it's some of those Randall shitcoin corner coins, or it's Hex or ETH or Bitcoin, they're all network effects, and they're all based on Metcalfe's law. And the same fundamental principles that give value to any one of these cryptocurrencies is Metcalfe's law. So, and that exponential curve and the math in that, all of them to this date so far that have long periods of data behind them, like Bitcoin and ETH and Dogecoin and all of them, they're all following the same exponential curve pattern. So if that's the case, we can't be naive and say Hex is going to be completely different. Will it be exactly the same? Obviously not. But we have to at least be realistic and think, okay, well, if that's happened and we've got a bit of a precedent there, this is not out of the realm of unrealistic.
That's why when we were watching that Jardo stream earlier, when he showed his ETH, Hex, ETH, Bitcoin, and Hex chart, then he said, "This is one of my favorite charts. This is one of my favorite charts," because he's admitting that there's a possibility his rainbow might fail. I don't want to say it, but anyways, we'll see.
I think Frosty, like, you made a great point, dude. And what you said, everything that you said is legitimate, and I think it's way better to be honest and like, instead of always these rose-colored glasses, like, shit's gonna happen. It's okay, guys. Like, this is what we've seen, but we've already have something else as precedents that we can say, yes, these did the same things. But look where they are now in comparison to what happened then. Like, that's what we want to look at. Not be like, we're going to the moon tomorrow. It's going to be at $10. Like, we can't.
No, and honestly, I'd rather be, like you said, be honest and say, look at and have a game plan, especially for people that are affecting their financial lives or maybe dependent on it. You know what I mean? Say, look 100%. At man, like, have a plan in case it does go down 95%, because all these other Metcalfe law-based fundamental principle chains have done the same thing. So we can't be naive to that. And it's better to have a plan and then not have a plan.
I agree with both of you guys. Ever since I've been in crypto, the mantra was only invest what you can afford to lose. And I mean, I rode a lot of emotional roller coasters over since 2017, pretty hard and wild. I can honestly say I think I did a market buy the night that Bitcoin Cash tried to flip Ethereum. Tried to flip Bitcoin on Coinbase, and just before the whole thing froze up, as they always do. I mean, I hit the button, market buy. I think I paid $9,000 for a Bitcoin Cash, and it was just like, it was just an explosion. It was crazy. It was crazy. But it wasn't really money. It was just switching from one crypto to the other. But it was, the economic mass was there, and it sucks.
Like what Little Gaines just said there, but like, there's no dumb questions, dude. They're all great questions.
I've been in since 2015, and I've learned a lot of these lessons the hard way through a couple of other massive dumps. Like, hey, I'm not friggin'. I've made a lot of mistakes. I asked Randall, like I've been, I used to trade. I got freaking wrecked, man. I bought XRP at $5. I'm still holding a bag of XRP that I'll probably never see the light of day.
Oh man,
But you know what I
that's
mean?
what. That's
But
it,
those
man.
are
We've
the
been.
fundamental. We all got to go through that, and we all got to get our balls busted in a reality check and go, wait a minute here. Fuck, I made a mistake. But we got to
Hey,
know that
speaking
making
of
mistakes, there's nothing wrong with mistakes. That's how you learn, man.
That's
And if
learning.
Hey,
some of these
Randall.
people can learn from the shit that we've done, that's better.
Absolutely. That's what we're saying. I actually refer to us as pros, crypto pros. And I mean, I think I was putting in 12 hours a day at the rig. I put in 11 or 14 on the YouTubes for like since 2017. So I watched a lot and absorbed a lot. But Randall, how you doing, brother? Welcome.
Yeah.
Your mic's off. Your lips are moving, but nobody's home.
I am fucking cold.
Yeah.
Come on, turn those Ethereum miners on or whatever you're mining right now.
Yep, they're on. They're on. They're in this room. I have the
Yep.
window open.
Yeah, I saw some pictures. You guys on the East Coast got dumped on pretty good.
Oh yeah, we got 24, about 15 to 20 centimeters in a matter of like 5 hours,
Oh wow.
right? And yeah, it was just ridiculous. And then it's now snowing again. But it's
Yeah, it's pretty chilly here tonight too.
supposed to rain all weekend, so that's good. But yeah, just to your point about the bear market, we're in a baby bear market right now, right? Everything's down, right? And we're going to be in here probably until near the end of December, and then it's just going to turn bullish again, right? Not a huge bull, but it's going to be a little bull run. But that's the nature of the beast, right?
They take the ups and downs. You know what I mean? You don't get you don't get 1000x returns. With no volatility. You know what I mean? I hate that. That's so annoying to me. If you want an absolute safe, secure investment, go buy Amazon stock or something ridiculous. And take your little tiny returns. The price you pay in crypto for ridiculous gains is the volatility. You know what I mean? So just buckle down. Go have a drink on the beer. Go have a beer on the beach and freaking chill out and check it in 6 months and life is good.
Honestly, I haven't been checking again ever since we've been kind of trending down for the last few months. I don't check my staker app, and believe me, man, the numbers, the movement I've seen, it's like a carpenter, a guy that does roofing, has these thick hands, and they can put a friggin' nail in with halfway in with one thumb and hit it with it one bang. So it's like whatever. That's just the way I feel about Hex and what we're all talking about. Hey, Zach. You're here, but you're not back in the green room. I was going to bring you up, but you're not. I don't see you in there. Let me check. Anyways, keep going.
The thing is, here's the beautiful thing about Hex. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, if you hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever it is you're holding, man, you're getting more Hex every day. Whether it's up or it's down, you're getting paid. What's the problem? It's just you're getting paid regardless. So it's
no electricity. It's beautiful. What an amazing thing.
No nothing. Like, for me running a mining farm back in the day, these are the best bloody miners I've ever bought in my life.
Well,
true story.
That's awesome.
As it pertains to the bear and the bull markets, right? I've got a new mantra that I tell everybody, right? You got to feed the bear to ride the bull.
There you go.
Buy the dips, right? And ride the bull, right?
That's a good one. I like that one.
You like that?
I
want to make a T-shirt.
There you go. You should make that a t-shirt. We should make that T-shirt and bring it on the stream here.
Yep. I was
I like
thinking of
that.
making that T-shirt.
I like
right?
it.
Feed the bear to ride the bull.
Yep.
I love it.
I actually see a little thing starting to develop here, and I'm really glad Grant showed up. And I got, there's a few other boys I early got on in here, and I would love to see them jump in here.
Tell us a little about your trading back in the day. What were you trading back in the day there, Grant?
Mostly we were doing value stocks, not growth.
Yep.
So I was trading like steel and GE and all that kind of stuff. We did obviously play with growth as well, but the forum that I was in was mostly doing options for buying.
Options. Any Forex stuff or anything else like that?
No, I didn't do any Forex, nothing like that. No, it was mostly just all options going 3 or 4 out of the money, maybe looking at 2-3 week time frame kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I learned some valuable lessons. I had some good wins. It's like when you get strippers that work at a strip bar. They always tell you that they can make $500 a day, but that was like one day that they had a bunch of VIPs. Every other day they make $50. So
exactly.
all traders are the same way. They're like, oh yeah, man, I made 20 grand that day, and I
Yeah.
Crypto
also
peeps.
lost like my biggest loss in the day was 35 grand.
Yeah, well,
So
that's just it.
Whoa.
That's just
that
it.
was a
People are always talking about their gains, but they never talk about their losses or their
100%.
hardships. You know what I mean? And that's the human factor. We got to bring it in because let's be real. We never got to any of those gains. We took a. I don't know about you, but I've traded a lot over my life, stocks, forex, everything else. You know what I mean? And I bet you I have more lost trades than I do winning trades. But the winning
by far.
trades were larger than the lost trades.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's all that matters. And I don't think a lot of the new guys that are getting in realize that you don't have to hit 95 trades or, you know what I mean? Like you just got to be smart about it because you're probably going to make more lost trades than you are winning trades. You know what I mean?
Well,
And more.
I think you definitely would. I always looked at it kind of like a baseball player. Like if you want to
Yeah.
be a professional baseball player, you got to bat 300, right? So that's only 3 out of 10 you got to hit. And I kind of
Yep.
looked at it the same way. Like I know I'm going to lose 7 shots, but I just got to make sure that the 3 that I got to connect on, I hit well. I wait them out. I don't cut my profits too quickly. And that was the best way to do it. But still, like my best trade ever is Hex, like by far. Which was
I'm not
one
going to
trade.
lie. Like, well, yeah, my best trade is Hex too, but I'll be honest with you, my second best trade is Dogecoin.
Oh, really? Well, I can see it.
I had 10 million. I had 10 million Dogecoin. You know what I mean? And it went up to like I sold 10 million Dogecoin at like 45, 48 cents. Like
There you go.
it's crazy.
Like,
You know what I
that's
mean?
it.
And everybody's like, "Oh, we hate it," but it is what it is, right? Like and it's a function of time. Like people, in my opinion, don't factor in the time factor. You know, because they buy something today and then 4 weeks they're trading out of it like somebody ran on,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't 1000x my money." Well, you held it. You didn't even hold it for a year. My thing is, I look at all these things on a year-over-year basis, right?
Yeah,
If I
I've
didn't,
definitely learned that.
and if I start seeing things I'm losing year over year, then I'll change my opinion. But the only matrix I look at is year over year. Other than that, it's you're just wasting your time, especially in the crypto market.
Well,
Cryptos, yeah, it's everything. It's cryptos like take the traditional markets and I don't know what kind of factor of multiplication you can put on it, but it's a whole different wild animal.
well, the volatility is so much more, but your gains are so much more. So you got to take it. Like it goes with it,
But
100%.
look at Bitcoin. You've got 12 years of data. 12 years of data. On average, it's 233% per annum return on average over 12 years.
Yeah.
Okay,
Where are
let's
you getting?
see
Where
if
are
you
you
even
getting
had
that anywhere else?
right. And they're like, "Oh, it's a scam." I'm like, and they're like, "Well, I bought a bunch of people I know they bought Bitcoin. They held it for 6 months." And I'm like, "Well, how come I'm not rich?" I'm like, "How long did you hold it? 5 months?" Well, fuck, man. Like, it's a 12-year-old asset. Like, have a little
Yeah.
bit longer term,
Yeah,
right?
I remember during the last whatever the last Bitcoin top was. I think it hit about what 22,000 American or 28,000 Canadian or something like that. But
It's
I
Canadian.
remember there was a story about these people at the time had mortgaged their houses and just everything they had. They were living in a van. It was amazing. There was so much excitement and rhetoric on YouTube and probably Discovery Channel and everything else, right? But I mean, those people, for a long time thought they're destroyed, but if they held that Bitcoin till it hit, you know,
And
they're doing
that
all
was the
right. It's a
that was the
function of
point I was
time.
trying to get
It's a function
across.
of
Is just
time.
that it's
Function
a
of time.
function of time because a lot of these new guys that are getting in here, whether it be hacks and p hacks, and even the pulse swap. You know what I mean? If they get in, they sacrifice for pulse swap. It's going to be a function of time. Like, don't expect to become a millionaire in 6 months after you bought it because it's probably not going to be happening. And I don't want them to be disappointed and put out from us personally to have unrealistic expectations of how things really are, right? Just
Yep.
hang on to it. Like I said, we've been in this since 2014, 2015, and we're only here now, right? So it's just there's a time factor there.
Well, basically you can equate it to the gold rush in California,
Mhm.
right? How many people got all hyped up and moved across the country over into California? Everybody was going to make their millions and billions and everything else. Well, back then it would be thousands and tens of thousands.
I want to make myself $1,000.
Yeah,
But
especially
right, so but out of all those people, you could probably count on maybe two hands, groups of people that actually formed corporations and stayed in for the long haul.
Yeah.
right?
Oh, of
And
course.
and they became like multimillionaires and railroad tycoons and everything else like that because they didn't just invest in the gold, right? They were selling the pans because that's who was making all the money,
Yeah.
right?
I think they
And
said
that's
the
and
story
that's
that
what's
is the
happened.
first millionaire was the shovel maker, was the guy that
Yeah,
sold the
yeah,
shovels.
the guy that sold
Exactly.
the shovel,
Yep.
right? Second guy was the guy that was making them,
Yep.
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
so that's what we're looking at in this new, basically, as they're calling the crypto environment, the new Wild West, right?
Well,
So
it's just a new asset class, right? And it's going to take
well,
time to evolve and time to mature. And then, look at other assets. Like if you look at, even in the stock market, if you look at new assets that come out of the gate, you know what I mean? They're volatile. They're not just steady uptrends. They're, any new asset class is volatile in the beginning, and it's just to be expected. And crypto's being the same thing. But all for all the new people and all the people whining out there right now because it's down and things are in a bit of a dip, and we're not making massive exponential curves right now. It's a function of time, and just relax and go fill your time with something else other than staring at charts. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
Yeah.
focus on doing something else, and the money will come if you just stay diligent, right? Like you
yeah,
said, feed the bear to ride the bull, buddy.
yep. Good term. It's going to catch on.
It is a
That's
good
great.
term, and
Actually,
I
that's
think
pretty
we're gonna
awesome.
brand that on here, man. I love it.
Well done.
Okay,
Well,
remember, I've trademarked it. So
There you go. There you go.
it's
Royalties go to
live on
Randall.
stream.
yep.
You got it, man. That's all good. Yeah. I think that needs to be just more. I, I iterated on that. Is that like all you guys that got in, like, and people are writing in the chat too, like Hex solves your problems with that because you can sit back and stake it. Just be patient. And if you did get in and it wasn't money, like we've all said, money that you're willing to lose, then that's going to be hard for you to do. But have patience. It's going to pay out in a year. Put it in for 2 years. Just, you're good. You've made a good choice by being involved in this asset. It's only going to get better with Pulse
even
and
even
PulseSwap.
even if you can't afford to stake it, hold it,
Yeah.
Yes.
right?
Just hold it. Right.
Because I got 600 hex. No, that's just 600, not 600,000, 600 million, just 600. Just because.
Yeah, but every ladder has a beginning rung. You know what I
Oh, I
mean?
know, but I'm just saying, I would have staked it, but it would have cost me almost, right, a
Yeah,
third
more to
a third
stake
more
it
than
than.
what I bought it for.
Yeah.
I always refer to it as a tennis because I play tennis. And the first time you pick up a tennis racket, you can't expect to be a pro, and you're gonna knock a lot of balls over the fence and out of the before you got to swing that racket 1,000 times before you start to get things right, and you got to climb the ladder. You got to start on rung 1. You can't start on rung 25. Like it's just with whether you open a business or it's trading, it's forex, it's crypto. You have to start at the bottom, and you just got to buy 600 hex, and then you get to 1,000, and then you get to 10,000, and it's a function of time. And you just got to stay diligent and stay at it. Like it's just no matter what it is.
Now, Dean and Frosty, I got a question for you guys because I've had a couple people that have been asking me as well. Like, when Pulse launches, the fork's done, Pulse is launched. What is going to be the easiest way? Because Richard has also said that they're not putting any Pulse on the market, right? It's only going to be for what people are willing to sell from the sacrifice set. Am I correct on that?
I think you're right on that, Grant.
So if that's correct, then how are people going to be able to get it? So they have Hex, they get their swap over to PX. Are they going to be able to get Pulse, like with one of the
It'll
bridges?
be available on the decentralized market, just like Hex is, and it'll be
So on
on the Pulse
PulseSwap.
chain. Yeah, it'll be PulseSwap and the Uniswap is going over there too. People will be able to buy it, and that's the way they'll get it. And I would expect there's going to be a big blow off top, and you wait to buy the dip afterwards. Whatever it's going to do, same as Big Payday and
Well, there's
all
going to
these
be a lot
other
of Pulse
coins.
floating around there, right? Because Richard did say that he's not removing the time slated Pulse that people are getting free for ETH. Like they were originally going to. They were going to
That's right.
remove the ETH from the
Correct.
wallets
So
after
those
30
people will
days.
sell. Yeah, you're
So
right.
all those people that have ETH are going to have Pulse. And then you're going to be able to buy Pulse through the DEX or the Uniswap front end or PulseSwap or Lamp Swap or whatever it's going to be
Whatever they
called.
call it, yeah.
Yeah, and so you'll be able to buy it through and just wrap it through like wrapped ETH, wrapped Bitcoin, or whatever the coins are going to be available there. So it'll just be a decentralized exchange, which is great. I love the decentralized exchange, and we do have
Way
some
better.
new exchanges like Crypto.com picked up on the DeFi wallet that you can buy there, and there's a couple other exchanges or front ends that have been able to purchase it. So again, it's a function of time, and things are starting to happen, right? So, I'm looking forward to Pulse. I'm not gonna
It's
lie.
only going to get better, man. It's only going to get better.
Yeah.
Like, I think the liquid loans thing, I think that's super interesting too.
Yeah, I haven't looked at that much. A friend of mine, Tony, was just messaged me yesterday or the day before regarding that, regarding liquid loans. What is your opinion on that? I haven't looked into it much.
I mean, I think it's actually an amazing idea, so that you're basically just using your Pulse that you have as collateral, and then based upon what you want to borrow, you have to have so much collateral put up. So the minimum would be 110%, and they said the majority of people will probably put about 300% collateral for what they want to borrow. So you don't have to actually sell your Pulse. You're just borrowing against it. And then let's say the market changes and goes against you, they'll just liquidate that Pulse and they take it. But to cover them.
But just think of it. I don't think people realize how powerful that rehypothecation is.
I know, it's crazy, dude.
The rehypothecation, if you're going to borrow against that and rehypothecate it at a ratio of like 100 to 1,
It's ridiculous.
that's insane.
It's
It's insane.
It's insane. So
It's beautiful.
They did say they figured they probably wouldn't launch it until about 3 or 4 months after the fork, just because it's going to be so volatile. With trying to all the price action that's going to be moving, but they figured after that, when things kind of stabilize, then that's when they'll actually launch that, and you can start.
So I've been doing some looking into some other coins lately, like regarding Pulse, like the ETH forks of ETH. If you look at ETH launched. So people are all speculating on how things are going, and I know people are going to give me some shit because there's some quantity of coins argument there. But we got to let's go back to August 2015, right? When ETH launched, what did ETH launch at? $1.25.
Yep.
What did BNB launch at? 10 cents. And every other fork of ETH has launched somewhere between 10 and $1.25 or more, right? And then there's the argument out there, obviously, it's like, oh, well, they got so many more tokens or whatever. But like, wait a minute here. How much of that circulating supply is actually being removed from the market just to run the staking nodes? Because there's going to be a high volume of number of tokens that are required just to run the 33 staking nodes. They're going to be removed from the market, and we're only focused on circulating supply, right? Yeah. So if the God whale or whoever it was that put in so much money at the end of that gets removed from circulating supply, then a whole bunch of people putting in to stake the staker nodes in order to maintain the network of the 33 nodes, that gets removed from circulating supply. How much circulating supply is actually really going to be there if you think about this for a second?
And I don't know. I don't think anybody's done the math on it, but it's pretty incredible.
So I got a feeling, I know there's such a huge high token supply, but I don't think people are factoring in how much tokens are being removed from circulating supply. Not to mention, all those other chains launched empty. We're launching 10,000 new coins with an already demand. So there's going to be demand out of the gate, in my opinion.
Yeah, because ETH is broken right now. They're going to be jumping on.
Positive demand or negative demand, it's a demand, no matter how you slice the pie, right?
It's going to be chaos. It's going to be like, I'm so excited to watch what happens. And and I think for all you guys that are on the stream, like, the fact that you're involved in this and you're going to be a part of it, like,
early.
You're still a tiny percentage of the population that even realizes this is happening. So, like, when it happens and we're able to see how this totally changes everything with all the blockchain and the NFTs that are tied to it and all this, like,
oh my God,
that's 10,000 new coins. That's crazy. What does that do?
Buddy, I got my jug of Kool-Aid and I am ready.
I know. Like, it's going to be incredible to watch. I imagine it's going to be just crazy fluctuation, but I don't,
I love seeing you two guys talk, man. Two of my friends hanging out. Randall, you saying anything over there in the sidelines? You got comments on this?
Well, I'm just trying to picture Dave with, like, his like Kool-Aid jug and like his little beer chug funnel.
Oh, buddy, I'm gonna get a Kool-Aid hat. We're gonna go down on the beach and we're gonna be a little coconut rum in there and some Kool-Aid.
That used to, speaking of when we were talking about Telegram earlier, I used to have the Hex Kool-Aid. I had a lot of memes. I was just a memer, little frog face, but I had one that's just like the Kool-Aid. I drank the Kool-Aid, and the Kool-Aid jug just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's insane. Come on, yeah. Like even at these prices, like, do you think I'm upset about it? I'm sure, people out there, if you bought it 48 cents, like you said, my friend messaged me, oh, it was a good run, blah, blah, blah. So it's just like, he's a pontificator. Sorry, Andrew, but you need a swift kick in the ass. Like you already pulled out like 10 times your friggin' 10 times your initial investment, and you got a $40,000 stake out for 2024. What's that going to be in like by then? Holy smokes, when it's doubled on 2 chains and everything else, like, get your T-shares now, people. Get your T-shares now. It's like,
well, the thing is, like, even like from say a stock investment, what we've experienced in crypto in the last few years, it literally would have taken a lifetime for somebody to do in the stock market.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
It would have literally taken a lifetime. Like, it would have taken 40, 45, 50 years to produce the same ridiculousness. Obviously, there's one-off, you know what I mean? There's exceptions to every rule, but I'm just saying, on average, to get the same kind of returns in the stock market over an exponential period of time, it would have been a lifetime. So, it's just, just be happy and just think a little bit longer. And all I can express is the function of time more than anything. Just get your head wrapped around time. And during these downtimes, find something else to do with your time so you're not just staring at a chart, man. Do something else.
Yeah.
Well,
like go to the beach with me.
Yeah, come to the beach with us.
It's fun.
At my club, we have a lot of rich people at our club, right? At Boat Club. Dave knows it. He's been there, right? And a few of them are investment guys down on Front Street in Toronto, right? And the one guy, I keep talking to him, and every once in a while, I say, "Yeah, I've got." He goes, "So how's the crypto going?" Right? I said, "Well, right, I'm overall, I believe I'm up, I think 48%, right?" And he goes, "What is that for, like, the right now, and then it drops down?" And I said, no, I mean like 48% for the year, right? And he goes, "It's only January."
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's like, yeah, it's only January, I know, but this is the heat of the, as you guys call them, shit coins or altcoins, right? Season, right? So it's just pumping off, right? And I told him, and I asked him, I said, "So what would you say would be a good return on investment over a year for one of your clients or whatever?" He says, if we get
12%.
If we get 10%, we're happy for our customer.
I was going to say 12% is high.
And
our 10%, that's amazing.
Exactly.
And our customer is happy. We get 12%, we're high-fiving around the room. Yeah. And we get 15%, right? We're all just like looking forward to our Christmas bonuses or whatever, right? I said, "Oh wow, okay." He goes, "Why? What did you end up, over a 365-day year, right?" I said, "Well, I just got back into it again, right? But this was 2 years ago when I was talking to him, right? Well, I started out with only $300, right, of ETC." Grew it up to, I think I got up to about 1,500, right, ETCs, right, just by doing the swapping and trading, as well as doing, not as much as Dave was trying to do, right? And then I, just mined, right? I don't know. I probably gave Dave over like 2,000 ETC easily.
Yeah, we went through a lot of ETC back in the day. So Randall and I, we mined Ethereum Classic before the ETH fork. Because Ethereum Classic is the original chain, and Ethereum is the fork of Ethereum Classic. So we were mining Ethereum back in the day, or Ethereum Classic back in the day before the ETH fork. And we had back then we got shit tons of ETH. We had so much ETH floating around. But we were let's be real. Let's be real about this, Randall. Our hydro bills were way more than we ever got in ETH. You know what I mean? Like we
Oh
were
yeah,
getting $600, $700, $800 a month fucking hydro bills.
we were
And
in the negative.
we weren't getting that in dollar
Really,
value.
you guys
You
were
know what I mean?
you guys
We were in the
negative?
negative. We're in the red. Like
Oh yeah, we did that for
we're-
years, buddy. We were totally in the red. We spent the money that we spent on hydro and the money that we spent on mining equipment, computers, like motherboards, RAM. You know what I mean? We spent thousands and thousands of dollars, and we were totally in the negative for a long, long time, weren't we? Like yeah.
Yep. But
Yeah.
I had enough.
Crazy.
I had enough to pay off all of the money I used to buy my rigs and everything.
Yeah.
Pay Dave for a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
You were just happy to have those monster computers so you could watch all those DivX files. Back then, that's what they used to call them, right? You're watching on your computers, or no? Were you not watching movies?
You're talking about right in behind me, right right there?
Yeah.
Right there? It's running. It's running right now.
Me, Grant, and I, our jobs were called measurements while drilling, and some people call this easy money. Which, hey, here we are, some easy money. But the other part was movie watching, dude, because we were in charge of making sure the rigs back in the day, everyone had entertainment because they were cut off. So we were torrenting little bastards, and we knew how to work that shit. It's true, right?
It definitely wasn't easy money in compared to just getting in the hex and holding. So much easier.
Absolutely, dude. I got no oil. I got no freaking invert on me right now. I'm proud of that. I don't
My
miss
kid
it.
actually, he's back on working on the rigs. He just got covered. Like he was covered in invert. Like gross. It's like
Are you still working on the rigs, Grant?
No. I haven't worked since the beginning of the pandemic. I left.
Oh yeah.
I was actually working right beside
what's your inside thoughts on the macro side of things regarding the oil industry? They're taking a bit of a hit all over the place right now.
I didn't pay attention.
I mean, oil's not going anywhere. It's in everything that we do. Like,
oh, for sure, I agree.
All the plastics and rubbers that are in everything we are. Like, I think we're cutting off our nose to spite our faces when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like, me and Dean worked a long time and had many discussions and debates. Our political views are different somewhat, but at the end of the day, like, oil is what makes the world go round. It's what the economy is built on. So the fact that, especially in Canada, we're really
economics is a function of energy, right?
Listen, so my header on Twitter has a picture of one of those Cybertrucks, and Grant was the one that turned me on to the Cybertruck. So he actually put down money, $1,000, when we were sitting on the rig before he was in Hex, even, I think. So you have the option to buy a Cybertruck. If you want me to buy that out for you, I'll buy that bad boy.
I'm probably not going to do it. I'm probably going to actually do the Rivian, actually. The Rivian's cool, man. They actually, speaking of IPOs, they just actually launched. They dropped their IPO or whatever Rivian did. But
what's that thing? Is that another Tesla deal? I'm not paying attention.
It's an electric truck. It's an electric truck, but it's used for mostly. They're focusing on like camping, kind of outdoorsy kind of stuff. It's not. It doesn't look. It looks like a regular truck. It doesn't look like this Cybertruck.
I know. I want one of those things, so I do.
Just got to give a shout out to some of these guys here in the chat too. You know, we got some new people in here like.
Hey, actually,
Gains, Crypto Freedom, Modern Simplicity. You know what I mean? I just want to thank you guys all for chiming in here. And,
there you go. I didn't even see that. Good call. Hey, and I want to say, because we're eventually going to try to move the focus away from my channel, but I had some semi-established presence and not much on YouTube. But you guys, from what I understand, hit the like and subscribe. And,
please do, man.
And that'll help us. Will help us out apparently. So
I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to give some recognition there to those guys that are trying.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it totally. I didn't.
And anybody in there that's got questions, I mean, like, I don't know.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get some engagement with the community because we got some smart people here, man. We do. And it's not me. Come on, like let's get some questions going
for the join the chat.
I
don't know if you sent it out to the other guys. Where's all our other guys like Jimmy Solutions and all them tonight? I haven't seen them pop around tonight.
Yeah, they didn't pop in, but you know what? We got a solid crypto crew here tonight, so let's keep it crypto. We can. Ecuador is an amazing place, and there's a lot of great things, and a lot of opportunities here, and it's going to keep growing. So we're here to try and help promote that. I'll just say this. So, Grant, Dave and I were on the beach yesterday, and we lost Zach, thinking of the beach guy. But I was on the beach, and we saw some people there, and they were said hello. I knew they were gringos, and they turned out they're from Calgary. and they're looking for real estate agents, and they're retired and from the town, you know. And I was like, hey, we're trying. I said, I'm 55. I'm old man for crypto, but or I'm, you know, but we're trying to bring in young people and money and show them that there's, you know, give them opportunities to try and just, you know, do something else and experience a different side of life. And yeah. And it's there, and it's happening. We're working on it. You know, we're trying to make it a little, I guess, a package. It'll be like easy. Pop in.
We're trying to go
roll
through
in.
all the mistakes that everybody else won't make. So
Exactly.
we're going to make them first.
We're going to do the mistakes.
Dave's good at finding those.
Oh yeah, they follow me like crazy. I'm just not afraid to take the risk, right? And
that's why they follow you, because you take risks.
And lay out the bumps, right? Like, trust me, this whole process hasn't been smooth or easy. You know what I mean? I've wasted a bunch of money trying a bunch of things and spent a bunch of money, but I'm trying to learn, go through those bumps and those trials and those hardships, so everybody else that comes down and it makes everybody else's life easier. You know what I mean? So, you know, we're the ones here flattening out the curve, and I'm going to tell you right now, don't think everything's all simple and perfect, and I haven't wasted any money, because I've made lots of mistakes, and but that's just part of the process, right? And I look at it, it's not wasted money. It's kind of like you're going to spend that money to go to school and learn. So what's the difference if I pay a school to learn, or I just do it and we figure it out as we go? So
we went to a new restaurant today. We didn't try it because it was lunchtime, but they got tomahawk steaks there. I think they're $35. I've never had a tomahawk steak. So, but the ribeyes
$16.
Yeah, no, the tomahawks are a little more, but the ribeyes and and the food was pretty freaking awesome. And this is walking distance from where we're hanging out right now, so it's really nice. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think what you guys are doing is great, and giving people option so that they can, when they get financially free or when they get close, they can have an option to do something different. Like, it might not be for everybody, but
the thing is, I just want people to realize that, you know, when I was in Canada and Ontario, that there's a very one-sided sentiment, and I just wanted people to realize that there's a great big world out there. You know what I mean? And just because things are like that there doesn't mean it's like that somewhere else. You know. And, you know, so I know a lot of people in the crypto world, they have different political views, and, you know, let's be real. We're working with nomad capitalists. Go where you're treated best, right? And sometimes you're not always treated best there, and sometimes people get stuck in the routine where they go to work and they have their kids and they go to soccer and hockey and whatever, and they get stuck in this montage of this life rut. And just, you got to realize that life is short, and we're only here once. And there's a great big world out there, and there's lots of options, and just don't be afraid to go out and try them. You know what I mean? And if people like us can go out there and flatten out some of those bumps and take some of that worry and stuff out, and, you know, and streamline the process, then, you know, that's what I want to do. And just, I want people to realize that life is short and there's more options, you know, and I'm willing to take that risk.
Well, both Grant and myself have worked Grant worked a long time in Cuba. He was over in Albania as well. We didn't cross paths over there. Almost did, but you know, just getting out and experiencing the world and people. And, you know, my brother was here visiting. One of the things he said, you know, people are people everywhere you go. There's good and bad everywhere, and there's all these fear and talk of going into these places. And I'm just, you know, right here, we're getting along just fine. And, you know, I never ever thought I'd ever want to go to Bogota, Colombia, or Medellin or whatever. But you know what? That's on my radar. I got friends out there right now that are doing really well, and they're from the East Coast of Canada. And I'm like, I'm gonna go check this out. Like, whatever. I don't know. Like, cause why not? It's like, I'm not gonna get involved in anything crazy bad or anything like that. So we got some engagement here.
Yeah. Shout out to Patricia.
How you doing?
I know, me and you and Dean have talked about this many times, but for anybody watching or whatever, like, I know some people are enticed by maybe what you can buy or a certain type of lifestyle that you want to have. The biggest thing that I wanted, and the biggest thing that Hex has done, and the biggest thing that just patience and valuing time has done, is give me more time, because that's the only thing I want. Time with my
kids. The only valuable commodity on the world, my friend.
That's the only thing I give a shit about, man. Like Lamborghini and that shit. That's for other people that works for them. That's good. I don't mind. Like, yeah, go buy that shit. But for me, man,
all your time,
being home every day. I get to go hang out with my wife all the time. She's my best friend. Like, I'm down with that. That's what I wanted. So
I'm proud of you, brother. Thank you, Grant. I like hearing that. You know that. Listen, I'm. You know, right now it's Yeah, it's going to happen. For me, it's going to happen real soon. And, the nomad capitalist people are not always feeding me the best news I want to hear. Here's one thing where you have
So are
worked
you
in the
guys working
States.
with them directly? You guys are working with
Yeah.
Nomad?
Yeah. I had a call with Andrew last week. And then one thing he told me that stuck with me that wasn't on my radar, he said, stay out of the States. Like I was kind of planning on floating around the States and visiting some of the people we knew down in Texas and New Mexico and Oklahoma, just people we met. Because essentially, to be an expat in Canada, you have to spend a certain amount of days out of the year. I'm not giving up my citizenship. I'm going to be a citizen, but I'm going to I'm going to give up my residency, and it's a serious commitment to time, and it's not easy. So right now, I mean, I like anybody, I got moods and emotions. I haven't seen my family in quite a while, but my son's out. Whatever we have these things going on, but in the end, I think it's gonna really pay off and do the right thing. And
Well, that's the human factor I was talking about before. That people don't realize how hard it is, and it's not just all sunshine and rainbows. You know what I mean?
absolutely,
There is sacrifices being made
yeah.
on all of our part to blaze trails here. And I just want people to realize there is the other side of the coin, that everything's not always perfect. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah,
and
it's different than what people are used to, but you know what? It's like having adapted and been around different cultures and people. Uh, it's like I said, people are people, and you're going to meet good and bad, and you're going to enjoy them, and it's been great. It's really been great. So I'm
the
happy
people
to be
here are
here.
great. People here are
Really
absolutely
are
amazing.
Latin
They really
America.
remind me of people of the East Coast here. Like they're super.
There is a similarity for sure.
Yeah, they're very friendly. They're very, obviously there's, an exception to every rule like any other city, but the people here are absolutely amazing, nice, kind. You know what I like? I'm going to be completely honest with you. The people here are happy. You know what I mean? And that's all that matters. Their family's happy, their kids are happy. And then it's like you said before, it's not all about money, like you were just saying. It's about surrounding yourself with people that are happy. And I find sometimes people get a little caught up in the social media back home and then the news. So just realize there is good things out there, and there are other
There
places that are
is, and that's
happy.
a great message, Frosty. I just want to say this: if anyone were like, I don't know how long these things are going to go. Typically, we've been doing about 2 hours. So if there's anyone out there on YouTube, or if this thing is actually streaming on Twitter, if you want to join us, you want to pop in, just say hello, ask a question, make a comment, say
Come on in.
hi. Yeah, come on in. So because we're not going to go all night. We're going to probably get another probably 40 minutes or so at the most, maybe half hour, who knows. But
Well, Diener, in
Yeah.
about 10 minutes, so at about 7:30, I gotta go. But
yeah, Grant, really glad you showed up, brother. Really
oh,
cool to
fuck
see
Yeah,
yeah,
you.
man! This is great,
yeah.
dude. I love this. Is great. So Frosty, you actually went down with your whole family, right? Is that
Yeah, me and my wife. My kids are still back home. They're in school. My son's finishing up school right now for his high school, and he's looking forward to coming down and learning how to surf and
tough?
teach him
Tough.
some business stuff, right? And teach
Yeah.
him the school of hard knocks and reality, right? So
And the less you've already had a bunch of bumps, so you'll be able to help them out with that. And the best thing, like
yeah.
I've taught my kids too, with getting in with investing in crypto and just investing in general, like they have time on their side. So
Well,
like
for
they,
me personally, I told my children, like don't bother. For me personally, and my advice is something that I wish I would have done. It's easier to be young without money. It's harder to be old without money.
oh shit,
And I encourage my children, regardless of this pandemic, not to have fear and to go see and travel the world and not make any harsh decisions on what they want to do.
yep,
Just go jump right into college. Go travel. Go see the world. You
yeah,
can while
see
you're
some shit,
young, and
see some
and to
shit.
see some shit, see the world, develop some culture. You know what I mean? Learn a different language, and then go back. If you want to go back to school, go back to school. But you'll have a better understanding of who you are, what you want to do,
100%.
opposed to just spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in courses that you may not be significant to your life. Because we see a lot of people, like a lot of their friends, have spent thousands of dollars in school and or hundreds of thousands of dollars in school, and they don't even have a ticket that's worth anything. So for me personally, I've encouraged my children just to go travel for a couple of years and figure out what they want to do after that.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's a great point
So
because I know myself. Like I got my degree in criminal psychology, I was working on a rig.
Exactly.
You start
Right.
as a roughneck, right?
Even psychology
Putting in the hard time,
Exactly.
doing the hard time.
But you guys have
Yeah.
traveled. Both
Gross.
of you have traveled a lot. Like, let me ask you this question: How much have you learned from traveling opposed to what you've ever learned in school? Like the,
Oh
you
my
know,
God, man. Leaps and bounds. Leaps and
yeah,
bounds, but like
yeah,
that. And really, like, I know I was lucky too, and Dean as well. Like when I was in Albania, you become part of the community because we were there for like a year. So you're going back and forth. You're
I was
really
there for 5, buddy.
You were there for 5. Yeah. See, I was there for a year, and in Cuba, I was there for 4. So, like, you really get to be a part of these communities and see how things work
yeah,
and how their economics work and their system and just the people in general. And I mean, I think it keeps you humble. Like, I know it's
yeah,
easy to be born in Canada. We won the lottery. Canada's
yeah,
an amazing country. I don't think we can deny that.
yeah,
And there could be things that are be better, but it's pretty fucking great, especially
yeah,
compared to a lot of these countries. And you go to
mhm,
places like Cuba, and one time we went back, and we hadn't been back for a month, so we got a bunch of bed bugs when we went back in there, and we were throwing out our mattresses. And our
yeah,
guy, that was our driver, Juan, he's like, "Well, can I have your mattress?" And I'm like, "You don't want that, Juan, dude. Like, there's fucking bed bugs." He's like, "I've never had one before, dude." He's like, I want that." And I
exactly.
mean, you're like, man. And he's like, "Can my daughter have your other one? Because like she'll be the only one of her friends to have a mattress." And
I
that
know.
puts shit in perspective. Like,
Totally.
where we are, what we have, what my kids have. Like, traveling is the best thing, and I've told my kid the same thing. Like, that's why he wanted to work a little bit on the rig, make his own money, but he wants to travel. He's like, "I'm going to travel and go
Yeah,
see stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, man, see all you can.
yeah,
Like, do it now. Make a decision on your life later." I mean,
yeah.
yeah,
It's so much easier to do it young before you get married, you have kids, you
of
get
course,
a house, a white picket fence. You know what I mean? Like, just go.
responsibilities. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a world of responsibility. When you're like 18, 19, 20-year old, like you can live on peanuts in countries around here, you know what I mean? And you have the stamina, like the stamina to do it, and the willpower to do it. Like, so yeah, it's just there's nothing better than real life experience to me,
no, no,
and if I can
that
give
is an
that to my kids,
experience.
then that's the way to do it. And that's just my opinion, because I know other people have different opinion, but that's I agree.
I agree with you, dude. That's fucking great.
It's totally humbling, and I agree with you. Like, I've spent a lot of time in Poland and places like I like to travel to places that aren't so much on the radar. You know what I mean? Not like, Dominican Republic, Cuba. Like the tourist places.
Yep.
When's the last time somebody said, "Hey man, get on a plane and go to Poland"? But nobody. And Poland's not a very rich country. One of the poorest countries
They
in the
went to
EU.
China as well. Grant's a fan of China. Like, you guys
I
could
love
talk
China.
about this in the next stream. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shenzhen, China.
Ooh, did you go to Shenzhen?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I want to
Crazy,
go
crazy,
so bad, dude.
crazy. It's insane. But people, the rest of the world have no idea how advanced Shenzhen, China is. Like,
I know.
like, like. No offense, like Canada lives in the dark ages compared to Shenzhen. Like, it's
Oh yeah.
insane. Like,
Oh yeah.
completely. Like, people have no idea how far ahead they are. No
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Right? No idea. Like, you can
Well,
literally go. You can literally go into a store in Shenzhen, China. There's like employeeless stores, freaking high-speed rail trains. Like, it's insane. Like, you go to a restaurant, there's no servers. You just go in and you order your meal, and this freaking comes down like a spiral down into your right
it's like
down
the
to.
Jetsons.
Oh my God, it's insane. It's insane. There's no
how,
cash. Like, they've been cashless for
yeah, because it's all
5
like
years now.
it's all on your WhatsApp, right? Pretty much. You use
WeChat or
WeChat,
Alipay.
yeah.
WeChat. Yeah.
Yeah,
WeChat.
WeChat or Alipay.
See,
Yeah.
that's awesome, dude. It's coming, Dean. They're taking
Hmm.
over, buddy.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm profiting, so I'm doing all right.
yeah. The world's
Well,
a
All
changing
right.
place.
I'm
Things are
gonna
changing.
split, guys, but I appreciate it. It was really nice to meet you, Frosty. Nice to meet you,
Yeah,
Randall.
man.
Diener, I already know you, so
Yeah, I
Hey,
look
buddy.
forward to having you back, my friend.
of
Thanks
course,
for
dude.
popping in, Grant. Really appreciate you. Yeah, listen. Anytime we're gonna try and make this a Thursday night.
I'm
This
down.
this
If
4
you,
in a row. And yeah, your feedback's always welcome, and I appreciate you showing up. And
yeah, if you guys
glad
want me on, I'm
glad
happy
you
to
guys
come
hit
on
it
and
off.
keep
So
putting in the hard work.
as you exit, we're gonna pass the torch to Frosty's friend. He's gonna do a shitcoin slinging for the day. Anyone else is coming in there?
Yes.
So
Mark off Thursday nights, Grant, and come back, my friend.
I'm on it for sure, 100%. I
Yeah.
appreciate it,
all
guys.
right,
You guys have
Sounds
a good
peace
one.
out, brother.
Later.
Cheers, bud.
Good to see you.
Later.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, modern
Hey,
simplistic
here we
Canada is
are.
behind with crypto, but mind you, Canada is a little bit leading more than other places, and yeah, but Latin America is definitely coming online a lot. I think Latin
Hey,
America will
like
supersede them very shortly.
you want to talk to some of that stuff we saw in, with El Salvador coming in, and some of the legalities, and just basically the fact that it's legal tender in El Salvador, and the ability to move that money around the world is pretty incredible, and the opportunities are like just
Yeah, so we're looking on getting on a plane to go to El Salvador probably sometime in January, mid-January, to solidify some legal contracts in El Salvador. Same with Panama. So yeah, El Salvador is definitely blazing the trails for the rest of the world, and it's migrating south. That's for sure. I think Latin America will, in the next few years, will definitely be a leader in the crypto industry, and it will.
and hopefully we can be a part of that. Just stick that little pry bar in there, and go
We will be part of it. We already are
I
part
know,
of it.
I know, buddy. I know.
Randall,
Hey,
what's
Randall.
going on
All right,
today in the shitcoin corner?
come on, Randall. Hey, you don't have to
Well,
talk about shitcoins. Tell us what you want to talk
well,
about.
well. I was just going to say about the U.S. is having their uh, hearings on cryptocurrencies and laws and
Oh,
such, right? And the one senator there, right, was talking about how they are way behind, right, and they will be way behind, and they will be left behind, right, because they're sitting here arguing over, right, um,
Semantics.
the FTA, right, or the commerce one. What is their
ETF.
company? The ETF, right, is arguing over, right, what is a futures or whatever, and you know how to get their taxes from it, blah blah blah. They're arguing all about this, not allowing the regulation to pass through, and then adopt regulation as it goes along. So they know that they're going to be right. Oh, was that you guys
oh,
gonna?
so I don't want to cut you. Yeah, Randy Hilarski. I've already had plenty of private conversations with him. I considered going to Panama before I came down here. So yes, I remember Randy coming on as a Hexkin, and he's been around forever, and he's an amazing individual. I really like him, and I look forward to the day when I shake his hand, and we're going to be somewhere in Southern Hemisphere, or Latin America, I should say. But yeah, so continue with that. I just want to bring that
Yep.
comment on screen.
So
Randy, if you're out there, shout out to you, brother. We love you.
so leading with that, Canada just as behind with the U.S. as right any other country. We're not as far ahead as everybody wants to believe or think. Right, when the biggest exchange, Binance, pulls out of Ontario on the 26th of this month, right? So that no Ontarian can actually access Binance and do trades or anything like that on Binance because of um, their intrusive look at their books, and that's what Ontario government wants to do, is look at all of their books to see all of the Ontarians in the books, so that they can determine how much, right, who they're going to be like screwing for taxes and doing, tax audits, right,
Well, I was just saying,
automatically.
having
So
said
you
that
feel that?
today. Sorry, go ahead. I was just gonna
Go
say,
ahead,
having
David.
said that, my buddy Jordan from BitBuy, which we all know, I've onboarded a lot of people through BitBuy. He got the first brokerage license and trading license in Ontario. So he's the first exchange there. So a little shout out to Jordan and BitBuy. So if
Hey,
anybody
man,
needs help with
I
in
love
Canada.
BitBuy.
So if
Amazing.
anybody needs anything from in there, we can set you up with a link to the OTC desk for Jordan at BitBuy. Jordan's done it a few times, and I know Jordan personally, and followed them right from the beginning.
Shout
They're a
out to
good, solid group of
Santiago.
people.
He
Santiago, yeah.
sent me a T-shirt for Christmas. I appreciate it. So this is all above board. It's beautiful. It's a great way to, if you want to move some money in and out of your bank accounts in Canada. Yeah, BitBuy. Amazing.
So that's one of the
Great
places you're
asset
going
to
to have to
have.
start using now, Randall, now that they've gotten rid of Binance and everything else. But BitBuy is one of, there's probably going to be a couple other ones that come along, but BitBuy right now is the only one in Canada that they just got approval, and that just happened this week.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
like at the
okay.
app. You
I
get the
just
app on your iPhone or your
I just I
Android.
I just happen to have a new address in Edmonton now.
Oh, do you?
There you go. There
Is
you
that
go.
working out now still? Does that work for you?
That will work for me, right?
Yeah.
But BitBuy or Binance, right? I just like the whole
Hey, shout out to
whole.
Alberta. We're Canadians, but Alberta's always been kind of pushing the edge for freedom. And I totally, I spent some time there, and that's where Grant just came in from. And we don't always agree politically, and as he said, but shout out to Alberta for always kind of pushing the limits of freedom in Canada. Everyone calls them rednecks and everything else, but my God, they believe in personal freedom, and I'm proud of that. I put some time in there. My kids are born there, and Alberta, here's to you.
So in the shitcoin world,
Hmm.
There he goes.
two coins that I follow quite intently, uh, Shiba and Satama, right? Inus,
Mhm.
right? Satama is coming out with its own MetaMask idea, right? And exchange. So that means that we'll be able to uh, buy, sell, trade, right? And also do the liquidity that you were talking about, Dave,
Mhm.
right? For it. They got a new game coming out like Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon,
That's an
right?
interesting one because Magic
With
the Gathering back in the day was huge. You know what I mean?
yeah,
If they turn those into NFTs,
that's what they're doing.
there's a massive demand for that shit, man. Massive
Yeah,
demand for that. That's an
yeah,
interesting concept. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
And then just fill the people in there for in the same situation that you are. Um, like how much like how's the like just explain the mining process and everything else for that stuff because you're mining quite a bit of Shiba and it could for it doesn't cost a lot to that's something that's very realistic people could do to get into mining and and we could point them in your direction to pick up video cards and computer equipment, my friend.
Yeah. Well, I've got three cards running right now, and
Hmm.
they're actually on running computers, right?
Yep.
The computer I'm running on right now, or doing the call on now, is
Hmm.
running, right, and mining at the same time, right?
Yep.
Um, through the video card, right? It helps that I have a 2080 Ti, right, 11 gig card, but
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I've got three computers, right? Just gaming rigs, right? One with a 5700 AMD and a 6800 AMD,
Hmm.
right? And I'm running at about 160 mega hashes, right? And that's just, I don't know how much everybody knows about mining and mega hashes. It's just the speed in which I'm doing it
Yep.
to dumb it completely down. I'm running a day, I'm getting about 300,000, right, Shiba Inu coins
Hmm.
just from these three cards at
Yeah.
160 mega hashes, 150, 160, it fluctuates, right? So I've I liquidated all my assets and then bought my hex with it,
Hmm.
and then now I'm at almost 3 million, right? Shiba Inu again, and I've got 120 US dollars, and that was over the course of the last um, week and a half, 2 weeks.
Well, that's one of the things I wanted to point out because, especially coming in this time of year in Canada, where the weather starts to get really cold, you can offset your heating costs, especially in Canada, because those things put out a shit ton of heat. You know what I mean? If you get a few mining rigs going, you can offset your heating costs, and instead of paying it all to gas or oil or whatever it is that you're using to heat, you can use it in electricity but get paid into crypto. But it's then like you said, you can trade it into Hex, you can trade it into whatever, which would be cheaper than the ETH fees. So I just wanted to kind of point that out to everybody, that maybe sometimes these shitcoin corners, like when we were mining Ethereum Classic, there's another way to onboard into some of these cryptos and get a byproduct of heat. So at least you're getting something in return, So that's why I wanted to touch the base on that and just kind of explain to
Well,
people
but
there's more than one way to skin a cat than just dumping money, straight dollars into things.
well, just think of how many people just were laughing at us because we're right mining in a negative,
Yeah.
right,
Hmm.
over the winter, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a sunroom, and I was running the miners in our sunroom, which
Yeah.
my wife goes out and smokes in, right, in the wintertime. We never
Hmm.
had to heat it.
Yeah,
Right? She
exactly.
actually opened up the windows because it was so hot in there. Right?
Yeah, especially at -20, right? Like, I don't think people really understand how much heat comes out of those mining rigs. Like, I literally heated my office. I literally heated my greenhouse. I literally heated, like, that's one of the other things, you know what I mean? Especially as things become more complicated. Like, you could literally mine cryptocurrency, heat your greenhouse, you know what I mean, and get food production out of it. So, then that's exactly what we did. It was -30, you know what I mean? Honestly, there was so much heat, we had to dump heat, you know what I mean? But you can produce food all year round from that. And not necessarily we're mining hex, but you can mine things and then
Well,
turn that into hex,
yeah,
right?
like the Shiba Inu, right, that I've got, right, that I decided, okay, well, right, I've got 30 million Shiba Inu. What am I going to do with that? $1,500. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to buy some hex with that.
Hmm.
So, right, most of that was eaten up by gas fees,
Right.
but onboarding it into hex and that, and then moving it over, right, cost me a lot of like gas fees and such. But yeah, you can easily move it over into something else, right?
Yeah, and I think mining, especially in Canada, is a very um,
Cost efficient. Yeah.
cost-effective, economical way to get into cryptocurrency because like everybody's got to pay to heat their house. So right now, every month that comes by, you're getting a bill and you're not getting anything in return. At least this way, you're getting something in return that and then you can put into Hex or whatever. You may be in the red in the short term, but in the long term, that's how we got here. You know what I mean? So it costs a little bit of money up front. You get some heat, which you have to buy anyway, and then in the long term, because it's a function of time, you end up coming out in the good. And I can tell you right now, the money that we mined in the loss for years has exponentially paid for any hydro bill that I've ever had in my life a million times over. So it's definitely worth it if you have a long-term plan, a long-term mindset, I should say. So just keep
Well,
that in mind for anybody out that's listening. And they're complaining about the gas fees. There's
Well,
more than one way to get into crypto.
I used to play around with a bit of mining and stuff, but there's no KYC in mining either. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you're making it, you're just bringing it into existence. So
Well,
that's what
especially in Canada, man, it makes sense because it's so cold, right? And those things put out a shit ton of heat.
no.
Is there anything you guys want to touch on that we didn't cover? I don't know. Maybe we slow this stream down a bit, or how you
Oh,
doing,
sorry,
Brad?
Randall was just fun to finish. Randall and his
Yeah,
coin
it's
update
coin
there.
thing.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
So Shiba Inu, right? It's got a lot of things on the boilerplate. They've got the guy from Activision running their gaming side of their coin that they're going to be turning into the metaverse with, which is going to be a card game, right?
Mm.
Collectible card game. Um, the other one, right? The Saitama is going to be right getting its mask. It's going for its cert audit right now. It's over 75% done that audit, and it's looking really good apparently from all the news from all of the leakers out there.
Mm.
So that looks like it's going to go. So if you want to get into a coin that's going to pump for a little bit for the next little while, keep your hex, throw some money into this, let it pump, move it over into hex.
Yeah, I agree. It's not a bad strategy, especially for people that don't. I know Yoden's over there grinding his teeth a little bit, but it's not a bad strategy.
It's out of my
to get
wheelhouse.
into.
Hey, man, I know there's other things that are going to pump. Coins pump.
Yep.
If he's done his studying, I trust Randall's background, his knowledge on this. Like, what we're against as Hexicans is the people chasing the pumps and selling and not having the vision, like you said, the bringing the time factor into it all. So no, if he wants, that's why I give him a platform here.
I'm
Yep,
just
this
trying
is
to give people a different perspective and a way to get into Hex other than
these
with the
these two
ETH fees,
these two coins are not pump and dumps. These are long-term strategies. They've got a vision and they're executing it quite efficiently, and they're going to go somewhere with this coin.
So you sound like there's some. Let me ask you this, Frosty's friend there, Randall. It sounds like there's some organization behind it. Now, I know in the past there's like with Z Classic and some other things I was involved in, or no, not Zcash. There's like, or XRP. There's these negative externalities. Now with Shiba Inu, is there the developers or the leaders or the core developers? Are they taking a chunk, or they got a percentage, or what's the relationship with the code and the people that are actually developing it? And are they
The people that are developing the game is getting a flat rate payout, right? They're not going to get a piece of the coin or anything like that. The developers of the coin, right? They don't have a stake per se in the actual coin itself, right? And the ones that do are the ones that bought it themselves. They weren't given the coins, right, to be a part of the
okay?
group, right? They had to go out and buy the coin themselves, just like we do, right? So, um, so that eliminates the whole idea of wanting to have a pump and dump, right? That's what most of those developers do, right? For rug pulls
Yeah.
and such, they give themselves a bunch of coin, and then they pump up all the hype, and then they pull out the rug, right, and cash out their coin before everybody else can cash out theirs, right?
Been there, done that.
Yeah, that's not what these two projects are actually doing at all, right? But like I
I'm
was
not gonna
saying,
lie, the Magic the Gathering thing and the concept they're doing there with the Magic the Gathering and the NFT side of that is very interesting, because if they turn those trading cards into an NFT like they did with Magic cards back in the day, that could be pretty something that's very interesting, because those things were freaking hot commodities. There could be a very
oh,
strong
Vitamin
demand
was
there.
giving free coins. Okay,
Vitalik, yeah.
Vitalik.
But what did he sell them, or I'm not following
No,
this stuff. So.
Vitalik actually burned his. He didn't want them. They
Oh
were just
yeah,
they were just given to him, right? I th-
right.
this is just conspiracy theory and such. I think he was the whale backer for Shiba to begin with,
Really
right?
interesting.
Right. So right, but he actually went out and got rid of 90% of them. He burned them. There's a burn wallet that he sent them to, and you can see exactly where they went. And 10%, the other 10%, right? He gave to the Indian COVID relief fund. He gave them away to them. He never
In
kept
India.
in India. He never kept any of the coins that he was given.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So yeah, he got his free, yes, but he gave his away by burning and then giving them away. Right? He said that no one person should have that much power of a coin.
Yeah,
Right.
makes sense.
Right. 50% of the entire supply. That's just wrong. Like no one person should actually ever have that. Right. So and he, like I said, he burned them, which was great. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Right. And so yeah, you're right. He was given them, but again, he's not a developer. He's not anything other than right not an investor, but just a celebrity of cryptocurrency. Right.
Modern simplicity is on the ball there, my friend. Hey, and if
Yeah.
you guys can like and share and help us get out there and do anything you can do to help us get a little broader base, we'd truly appreciate it. And we appreciate everybody that's jumped on here tonight. So,
Yeah, definitely.
and then
Imagine if he
same
had
with
dumped
Randall
instead of
too. If any
burned.
of you guys are looking for mining equipment or computers or anything along that line, drop us a message. We can get you hooked up with Randall. You know what I mean? He still owns a computer store and a computer company. We can
Hey,
get you stuff shipped out. Let's try to make
give
sure
your
we look after each other, man.
give your web presence details there, Frosty's friend. Do you have a website where people can buy cards and
No,
whatnot?
no, I don't have a website. Right. I only go through. Right. Um,
People like
just
Frosty.
yeah, just get a link through Frosty there.
Sounds
Yeah, drop
good.
a link in there and we can get you privately looked up. And, this guy makes some crazy custom computers. Like we did liquid cooling, you know what I mean? I got my laptops off him to come down here, yeah, he'll look after you, man. If you guys want some great kick-ass computer stuff, there's probably nobody better than this guy.
Yeah, you said modern simplicity says imagine he dumped them instead of burn them. You mean imagine if he dumped them instead of burn them?
I'm sure that's what he was saying. Yeah.
Yeah, because he did burn them, and you can see the burn wallet. But Yeah, it looks like
Well, if he
he's
did dump him, the fucking thing would tank.
Yeah, I
well.
would
If
have
he
wiped it out.
yeah, it would have. Right. I
Yeah.
believe real estate in the metaverse is a great idea.
Oh my God, yeah. That's one of the things we're looking at right now, and we're working on that right now. We're going to be developing some real estate in the metaverse, and we're going to be live streaming some of our events because we're putting on some events. Looks like it might be a bit of a global event. We might be going to Dubai next, but the first one, we're going to be getting some real estate and live streaming some of the events, and hopefully some NFTs. We're going to have some custom NFTs that are going to be going through the metaverse. So we're in the process of that right now.
Which ecosystem would you think would be best value right now? I mean,
Well, we're looking at a few of them right now. There's basically three main ones right now that we're looking at, but I don't know. Just right now, we're hoping for the bandwidth to get a little bit bigger, so we can get the renderings, the imaging. We're trying to work on the bandwidth and the imaging resolution because the imaging resolution is still pretty low. But I think that's going to change fairly shortly because we're using Real Engine 5 to develop some of that stuff. So, yeah. Give me a few more weeks. We'll have more information on that, and hopefully we can guys get you into the metaverse. I mean, we can start dropping streams from here into the metaverse. We're gonna have a bunch of custom NFTs made from some high NFT developers for the event. So when you guys come to this event, you're gonna get a custom-made NFT back from some people that are well known in this world.
nice. All right. Well, this is we're getting towards the end of the stream here, people. But yeah, I don't know. You got any final thoughts there, Frosty? Randall, you got any final thoughts?
Just right. Huddle, right. Buy the dip. Remember, feed the bear, right. Ride the bull.
Feed the
There you
bear,
go,
ride the
buddy.
bull. I love that. We gotta make that into a T-shirt.
Yep. I'm gonna get a coffee mug of it.
There you go. Feed the bear, ride the bull. All right,
Well, yeah. Anyways, everyone that showed up and joined us and sent messages, we appreciate it. And again, shout out to the Hexicans that on Twitter. That there's a lot of stuff going on. That people will watch the rewinds or they'll watch us tomorrow or later on in the future. We appreciate everyone showing up, and yeah, thanks for being there out there, people, and just sharing our content and asking questions, and this thing's going and we're doing it. So
yeah, and I like the fact that we bring new people in, and it's kind of it's not the same people, and people are coming in and out offering different perspectives, different opinions, different thoughts, and that's the human factor, right? I like the human factor of what we got going on here, and I love the fact that we're getting some more engagement from new people. I want to appreciate all you guys like Lil Gaines in there. They're new, and Modern Simplicity, he's always been a great advocate. I truly appreciate you being around, my friend, and everything you've done for us. And yeah, just anything you guys can do to help be the human factor and help everybody look after each other during these down times and the up times. That's what's going to make this community strong. That's what's going to make us all successful. Yeah. And if we can all work together and help each other out, you know what I mean, with computers and mining and information and blazing trails in Ecuador and whatever we can do together, that's what's unique about Hex, and that's what's going to make us that's what's going to stand the test of time.
Wow. Yeah, I can't add much to that. That's well said, David. I appreciate that, and that's exactly the way I feel. And yeah, well,
maybe we'll wrap it up and run some music.
Get some music. Yeah, you go.
There,
Randall,
what are you saying,
my friend?
I just sent a message there, so you can just throw that up there.
Okay.
All right, man. This music's a little darker than the normal stuff we have. I thought I had the other one loaded, but I don't. So enjoy, people. We're happy to be here, and we're going to be back next Thursday. So keep sharing, and here you go, man. Enjoy.
Yeah, if you guys could share and like us and help us get out there, that'd be greatly appreciated. And get some new people on. Anybody interested in coming in next Thursday night at 8 o'clock, we'd love to have you. Bring your thoughts, bring your opinions, bring your comments, good or bad. We'd love to have you. Thanks for everything you guys have done. Truly appreciate it. Hex rocks.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Randall. You're a trooper, buddy. You're there for the test stream. And yeah, Grant showing up, and everyone in the comments and likes, and Again, the retweets, we appreciate it. So we'll see you guys around and start checking this out here. Have a good one.
Have a
Have a
good
great
one,
week,
guys.
guys.